Alright everybody, reviews and more, back with another fragrance review for men. This is from Armaf. I've done a few Armafs already, but this is the Odyssey line. This is Odyssey Mega, sometimes called Mega Men, which is a little confusing because of the video game title, but there you go. So, off the top, while I'm opening this thing up, it was about $25 on FragranceNet at the time. Their sales kind of flip and go, so but it was well under 30 for a 100 milliliter 3.4 ounce bottle. This is supposedly a clone of YSLY. So I like YSLY, it smells nice. I'm not going to give you a step-by-step clone quality of it, but I'm going to give you my basic impressions of the fragrance itself. But the opening notes are orange, bergamot, lemon, ginger, and mint, so an aromatic citrusy kind of combo. Then we get in the middle notes pineapple, juniper, geranium, and sage, so more aromatics plus some pineapple. And the base dry down notes are going to be musk, tonka bean, cedar, and vetiver. So it's going to be a very woody kind of dry masculine dry down based on those various notes. Very similar to some of the other Armaf Odyssey line. It has this like limited edition little fake leather material on it. Looks nice, looks basically the same as all the others. Nothing too crazy about it or uncrazy or interesting outside of what's already interesting with the other bottles. But as always with these tests, what I do is I test it on paper, then I give you my basic impression of it. That cap won't come off. Then I test it. This thing's gonna come out of here. Let me see. Can I pop it out? Oh, again, I can pop it out of a little leather case. Neat. Okay, so if you don't like that, you can make it a very low-key kind of top, make it a little, maybe make it match your motif on your shelf a little better. But there you go. I'm keeping in the gaudy yellow. Thank you very much. But as with all my reviews, I do it on paper, then I test on skin because I have a fairly big difference in what I smell with my own nose when I test on skin versus on paper. But as always, let's go with the, man, that's a hard cap. Let's go with the paper first. Empty. There it goes. Decent atomizers. The entire Odyssey line has decent atomizers. They're not amazing. They just do the job. Put some juice out. You're not going to get your shirt wet from them, thankfully. Yep, that smells a lot like what I remember YSLY smelling like, at least in the opening. Also has a similar note breakdown to Fakar Black by Lattafa. It smells a lot like Fakar Black, and I actually have a bottle of that, so I can give you a point by point on that one later on. But yeah, that's I will say this: the ginger and the mint come out a little more intensely than I was expecting. I was expecting it to be way sweeter, but it is sweet, but it's got those aromatic mint and ginger notes in there. Very nice, not super feminine, which is good, so it's going to be definitely a more masculine fragrance. All right, on skin, let's let it flash off for just a second. Okay, definitely a little more rindy on the skin, not quite so sweet. And that mint and ginger is even stronger. So I would say that the citrus is a little more strong on paper, on skin. The aromatics from the ginger and the mint pop out really fast, really strong. All right, now the next part of this is I cut to a time in the future after I've worn this for a few hours, and I give you a basic breakdown of the middle notes and the base notes, and then we kind of end it from there. So next time you see me, it'll be several hours in the future. All right, so we're back. It's been a few hours, and let's go ahead and talk about that dry down. So first of all, the notes on Fragrantica, again, as a reminder, middle notes of pineapple, juniper, geranium, and sage. I got the juniper, I got the sage. Geranium's kind of just a, florally kind of thing in there. It could be there, it could not. I don't pick it out too heavily. I did not pick out the pineapple. I will say that. As the dry down happened, I kept smelling, I'm not getting pineapple. I got a little bit of sweetness, and that could have been the pineapple, but nothing that screamed like, hey, this is pineapple that you're smelling right now. So that's not really in there to me. It was really more juniper combined with some of the leftover citrus and ginger going in there. Juniper, sage, juniper a little bit heavier. The final dry down being heavily leaning towards musk, tonka, and then cedar kind of in the back. The vetiver is in there, but it's very light. It's not a heavy vetiver scent in my opinion. But the cedar, the tonka, and musk is in there, with musk and tonka kind of taking the forefront. I keep re-smelling to re-remind myself what this smells like to me on the dry down. But yeah, as far as longevity, let's go with projection first. Projection, you'll project a little while, maybe 30, 45 minutes, depending on how much you spray on you. Don't expect to be pushing a huge amount of fragrance out to the world after about an hour. This is not a heavy longevity fragrance. In fact, I'd say 4 hours is probably gonna be your limitation depending on how much you spray, unless you really like just douse yourself in this to the point that it's kind of cloying. My recommendation would be, this is, hey, I'm going to the gym. Hey, I'm gonna go to class for a few hours. Hey, I gotta work one shift. Hey, I don't mind if I have to reapply, like I keep this in my office. It's that kind of situation. You're not gonna, you can't assume to wear this and smell like it all day unless you just like douse your shirt or your clothes in it or something, and maybe you'll get some extended time there. Certainly if it's hot outside and you're running around a lot, it's probably gonna go away a lot quicker, but just keep that in mind. Again, projection's okay in the first 45 minutes, but after that it's not skin level, but you gotta be pretty close to somebody for them to smell you, or at least be in an enclosed space where they're near you a lot. But again, that longevity is probably the biggest flaw. I'd say 4 hours is your safe time. Anything beyond that is just kind of a grace from the universe that you got it. But that being said, it's a very, very nice scent. It's a very pleasant, mass appealing fragrance. I'd say it's definitely it's a men's cologne. It's definitely a men's cologne, but it's definitely on the sweet side, a little more youthful. If I saw a 60-year-old man wearing this, I smelled why do you smell like fruit? That'd be my kind of reaction. This is really meant for the younger to middle-aged crowd. It's, again, very, very sweet in the opening compared to things like a lot of the more mature fragrances out there. Even though it does have that vetiver and cedar dry down, the opening is still very sweet by comparison. It's not super, I'd say the ginger is the sweeter aspect. There's a little bit of sweetness, like syrupy sweetness from the citrus elements, but it's not super heavy. The sweetness really is like the aromatics do. The aromatic herbs that come off is very, very sweet. Like, think of like a dry sweetness is what you kind of get from it. So that's my overall impressions, guys. If you have any questions, let me know and I'll be happy to answer them for you, and have a great day. Thanks for watching.